Hey, what's up, guys? It's T-Bone here, and welcome back to another episode of playing Legendary Game of Heroes. So, Cult of the Night is the name of the Dark Crusader event that will be starting tomorrow. And what you're seeing right now is a screenshot from a video that was posted on the network's Facebook page. Instead of showing the whole video, which is a little over 5 minutes long here, I will be including a link to the video in the video below, so you can check that out if you want. What I've done is I've taken a few screenshots from the video just to showcase some of the relevant information. And so what you're seeing here is what they call a base deck that consists of 2 of the support cards and 1 of the main event card. The support card's name is Nighthawk, and the main event card is Mondoni Hill. They've also added in the Fallen One and also Guardian of Gaul. Now, keep in mind, Guardian of Gaul is actually a ultra rare card from one of the previous Dark Crusader events, and so he will create power gems based on the number of dark gems on board. And so this is actually going to be a less likely scenario that you may have this card. But the point is, if you have a card that generates power gems, it will be good to include it in this type of deck. And you can also see that it has 2 event relics here, plus 2 of the corrupt relic and 1 Dren relic. What we'll do after taking a look at the screenshots is we'll take a look at the cards for the upcoming event, and then we'll also talk about some of the news feeds that have come out as well to talk about the upcoming event, some of the changes, and what to expect. So the next screenshot here is this deck playing against a level 300 Star Savior, which is actually a light legend card. Now, in the recent Commander events, what they've done is they've introduced a change to how the bosses spawn. So at level 200 and above, you actually now get a choice. You will see a legend boss as well as a regular boss. Now, this is a legend boss, so you can see that the health at level 300 is over 21 billion, 21.6 billion in fact. And so if you're just watching the video, make sure that you keep in mind that this is going up against a legend boss, which has much higher health and also much higher trophy rewards compared to a regular boss, which at 300, I believe, is a little over 1.8 billion health. Okay, so a very big difference. And depending on your play level, okay, you may not be able to take on a legend boss, but definitely don't think that this is how the boss is going to be for the entire event, because you have a choice. You can pick either the regular or a legend. And so this is just to showcase the health here. And then with this deck, you can see that at the end it was able to deal quite a bit of damage with only 5 billion remaining. Now, you couldn't quite take it out, but the point here is even up against a level 300 legend boss, with this deck setup, you could deal quite a bit of damage there. Now, like I said, it does feature a ultra rare card in there that spawns power gems, but I think we can look for ways to simulate that experience without needing to put that in. And finally, the last screenshot here is just what they would call the best team here. So this obviously includes the times 13 Master Collection card, and that is the Night Sky Apparition, and also a Starless Nighthawk, which is the ultra rare. Now let's go back now to the news feed here. We'll talk about some of the changes for this event, and then finally we'll end with sort of my take on the cards themselves. Now, before we start, if you have been logging in on a daily basis, you should have noticed that there is a sweepstake here. You can take a look on their website again for more details, but basically a quick rundown here. As long as you play, as long as you log in, you will be able to collect these tickets, and if you have a VIP subscription, you'll get a second ticket as well, so you can see there's 2 spots you can claim. One of the things that's been sort of confusing for people is they've also said that there's a way for you to purchase tickets if you want it, and the key here is you don't have to buy them, all right? And now the more tickets you have, it does increases your overall chance of winning, but it is not a requirement for you to be buying packs to get these tickets. I think the point here is just by playing, you'll be able to collect some tickets for a chance to win $5,000. And now that's a really good opportunity to win something, but just don't feel forced to be spending money on packs in order to get this. I mean, it will increase your overall number of tickets, but just by playing, you'll be entered in the sweepstakes no matter what. All right, so Something to call out here. Now let's go into the newsfeed here because there are some changes that I think is important to call out. So the first part talks about the cards and how to utilize them. They've started changing sort of the messaging for the deck here, and so you could also see how the order of they're telling you the order of cards to activate the skills and when to start using them. So take a look here. It's actually pretty good information here, and then there. In here, we know that this is VIP Appreciation Week. So you can see in the second paragraph here. So there's going to be some special benefits for VIP, and you could expect that a VIP pack is going to be available. So that means the ultra rare will be available at tier 6. Depending on whether or not they have a discount for the deck for the pack as well. Tier 6 will be about 14,000 gems. Okay, just to provide information there. And you'll be able to collect loyalty goblets like every VIP Appreciation Week, so that you can buy some things out of the loyalty store that you don't normally get access to. And then we can talk about the ages. So the ages is the new mechanic they've introduced. And keep in mind that now that with ages being implemented, the boss doesn't actually have a lot of the counter skills that we were used to seeing here. And what's important is to look at what it actually will do. So it has 3 different effects this time. One will actually increase your recovery by 200% as long as you have Dren cards in your deck. Okay, so this is actually a boost to your deck. And then the one that's a counter to your deck is poison. So Aegis will poison you for slight damage at the end of every turn. I don't know how much damage we're really talking about here, but poison is one that you'll have to make sure you heal back. It won't kill you because poison is guaranteed not to kill you. Actually, no, I take it back. It's actually thorns that will not kill you. Poison will kill you, so you want to make sure that you heal as often as possible. And then finally, this is new. We're in Crusade map. The Aegis will cause the enemy to regenerate a small amount of HP every turn. So this one, I think, only applies in a Crusader map. I'm not sure if it will actually apply in the actual bosses. But this is where if you're taking a long time to attack your enemy, you're going to expect a little bit of a heal of the enemy every time. So then you'll have to deal more damage to take it down. Okay, so that's sort of the explanation of the Aegis here. And then the most exciting part of this change here is they've made this easy for you to get ahead in the bosses by making the Head Start pack free for the first 50 levels. And then for the second 50 levels, it's going to be 500 gems as opposed to 14,000 gems that normally costs. So this is a really good deal, and I highly encourage you to do that. In fact, I wanted to show you here in the pack here. It is available, and I have not gotten it yet because I wanted to show what it's like. So here you can see the free one will give you 50 boss levels for both bosses. It gives you loot tickets, and it gives you additional light metals, because these are the light metals that you can use to purchase items, and so you're not losing out there. And you're also getting the ring coins for your event card. What they're missing here though is material tokens for your relics, so that's something to keep in mind. Another thing to keep in mind here is if you typically have a hard time defeating levels 50 or 100 or higher, then I would recommend not buying the additional 50 for 500 gems if you want to save some, just because if you're having a challenge there, that's something to think about. You're going to be starting out at level 100 boss if you use both of these. For most people, I think this is going to be a good thing because we want to get to level 150 as fast as possible. But just something to keep in mind. Just want to call that out. So this is what it's like if you get it. So you'll see you get all of these things. This is really really useful. And then I am going to also be spending the 500 gems to go up to level 100. I'm pretty excited about that. All right. So now, and then when the event starts, I will be starting at level 101. And the second thing, the last thing I didn't actually call out, which is important here, is wrong thing here. They've also they're also going to be increasing the number of tokens that keys that you'll be getting dropped. Now, this is one where I'm still kind of hazy on because it says in the first mission you'll earn 1 key of each type, which is one for each of the solo bosses plus the guild boss, and then it says in the last mission you're going to earn 6 keys of each type. This means they've increased the number of keys drops in Crusade from 14 to 18 per mission. Now, if I'm reading this correctly, I believe what they're saying is in the 3 different maps. Okay, there's the beginner map, the original, and then there's the elite, and then there's the infernal. And I think up to this point, what you're seeing is at the last mission in the first regular map, you can go up to 12 tickets, 12 keys. And then it's 13 keys for the elite and 14 keys for infernal. So I think what this means is if you reach Infernal, instead of getting 14 tickets, you're guaranteed to get 6 keys of each type per mission in the Infernal map. I think that's what it translates to. And so if you get to Infernal, then I think you're going to be getting it just makes it more consistent so that you don't end up with a very skewed number of keys for each boss and then not having enough keys for the guild boss. So that's another update here. We'll take a look and see how that actually works out when the event starts. I just wanted to call this out as well. Some of these minor changes are actually good quality of life changes that I think are good for everybody all around. All right, let me make sure that you mark this as red so that you get also 50 mana. Now, finally, what I want to do is now end with a quick, sort of review of the cards here and really talk about, well, what is this deck going to be like? This is going to be very similar to the last Earth Commander event where if you take a look here, look at the cards, it was basically a revised version of the Domi deck, but for Commander specific. And so you can see the card was Guru Pachecept, which actually will generate, Earth Gems, and it will be like a Domi deck, so it does this for the next 2 turns. So if you remember from that event, this is going to be very similar. Now let's go back here and we'll take a look at the collection. So the event card here, Nighthawk, does exactly the same thing. It will create 2 dark gems now and for the next 2 turns, plus additional dark gem for every 20 Dren intensity. So this is going to be Dren. Interesting note, Dren has always been a light card. It has always been associated with light cards. So this is the first time they're introducing a dark Dren card. But because of that, the problem is that they don't really have a lot of Dren relics. They've only had 1 that increased the Dren intensity. So this is going to be something that I know will be a little bit challenging to get more relics for if you're not really a spender. So just keep that in mind as well. It does have a passive here where it does heal for 5% of missing HP. If you look in the video, you'll see a heal every single time after attack. And that is the reason why, because there's a passive here. And then we'll go back to the deck here for the 6-star version of the event card. I missed it, so let's go back to. If you just press on the image, you can actually scroll through each of these cards to get back to what you want. So Mondo Nihil is going to be a nuke card. All right, so it will generate intensity and then it'll attack for 4,000 attack plus another 2,000 for every 5 stacks of Dren intensity. And then it will attack twice if there's at least 1 dark power gem, and then if there's at least 3 dark power gems, it will attack 3 times. All right, so you'll nuke 3 times. It's also a revive card, and it has a defender skill of Birthright. So now they're introducing Birthright as a defender skill for each of these cards now. So Birthright just means that the actual skill will be activated as soon as they spawn instead of after you attack. So if you attack somebody with a Birthright skill, you're going to be faced with this first. So in this case, armor will be activated first, so it'll be harder for you to take them down on the first turn. It also counters Toxin, but I don't believe the guild boss is going to be actually casting that. So with that in mind, let's see if Nighthawk has a Birthright. No, so Birthright is not on the event card, on the free support card, but it is going to be on Starless Nighthawk, I believe. Yes, and so it will be a Fear. Now, the The battle skill for Starless Nighthawk is going to be similar to any of the Domi type decks, where this is the one that will passively create power gems. Okay, so this is really where the passive ability of these cards are important. It will create Dark Power Gem 2 or higher as long as there's a Dark Power Gem 2 on the board. At 6-star, it'll go up to Power Gem 3 as long as a Power Gem 1 is on the board. And finally, the ×13 Master Collection card, Night Sky Apparition, will create a Power Gem 4 as long as one or more Power Gem 1s on the board. And this also will have Birthright Fear. Now, it's interesting. Birthright Fear, what that means is Fear will be cast first. And so after you do all of your matches, then I'm not sure that means all of your battle skill gauges will just immediately drop, or up to 2 of them will immediately drop to 0. So the timing is going to be interesting on this one. So what that means, I don't know yet. I haven't seen a Fear in Birthright before, but this isn't a Warden card, so it's I don't know if you're necessarily going to see this in a guild versus guild matchup as often, but it's interesting to see what that might look like. So now my take on this is we know that this is a really good type of deck. We've seen this in the previous Earth commander deck. I mean, with the nuke and then with also the power gem, you're going to be able to deal a lot of damage here. But if you're not a spender, if you're looking to just use the support card and maybe hopefully get lucky with the collection cards here, then I would say use relics that generate power gems. I have a couple of ideas that I'm floating around here, and that is use Angel's Bane, which was one that came out 2 dark events ago, or maybe the last dark event where it was the technological event. It creates Power Gem 2s on the board, as well as the Dark Shuriken, which came out with the first sort of dark version of the Domi deck. Okay, it also creates power gems based on dark gems. And I also kind of thought about using Thula. If you remember, Thula will actually create a power gem of the weak affinity of your boss. So if you're fighting against a light boss, then Thula will actually create a dark power gem. So if you're lacking power gems, you can take these 2 cards, and then what I'm showing here is just a representation of the free event card for this event, and then use that gem spawner to then supplement Thula. You don't actually need to convert because she will already create the power gems for you, but you can then sort of use your event card as your main damage dealer if that is something you need. Now, I'm still playing around. I have a very limited number of dark powered sort of dark commander cards, so I'm actually probably going to be running Thrall for at least a little while in this particular event. So if you have this deck, it's always been a very good deck. It's very viable, so continue to use that. But as always, I will be coming up, hopefully looking for ideas for a different deck, and we'll look at that after the relic is out. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching, and hopefully this helps. Let me know if there's anything that you want to hear more. Let me know what your feedback is, and we'll talk to you in the next episode. Thank you. Take care.